Spain is the Eurozone's fourth biggest economy, but it's bottom of the league when it comes to defence spending in the 32-nation NATO alliance. Madrid spent an estimated $21.3 billion on defence last year, 1.28% of its gross domestic product, despite a 2014 NATO pledge to spend at least 2%. NATO's Secretary-General Mark Rutte travelled to Spain and Portugal this week and gave this warning.
The goal of 2%, now set a decade ago, will not be enough to meet the challenges of tomorrow. The threat from Russia may seem distant, but let me assure you, it is not.
Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said Spain is committed to reaching the 2% target by 2029. He said that defence spending had increased by 70% over the past decade, and Madrid was the 10th largest NATO contributor in absolute terms. Spanish troops are also helping to train Ukrainian forces as Kyiv battles Russia's invasion. But that's unlikely to satisfy NATO's biggest spender, the United States, which spent 3.38% of its GDP on defence in 2024. President Donald Trump this month described Spain's contribution to NATO as very low and is demanding a much higher target.
I'm also going to ask all NATO nations to increase defense spending to 5% of GDP, which is what it should have been years ago.
Trump has long complained that European allies are taking advantage of the United States and says they should share the burden of defense spending. But the 5% target is unrealistic for Spain, according to analyst Pere Ortega.
Reaching 5% is impossible. That would mean that Spain would have to spend almost 65 billion euros. That is impossible because we do not have that economic capacity. That would be in some way making sacrifices in the sphere of social security, and the Spanish population would penalize that with their vote at the polls.
Trump does have some support in Europe. Lithuania announced plans this month to raise defence spending to 5 or 6% of GDP by 2026.
We are fitting in with NATO defence plans, which are vital to our region.
At his first NATO summit as US president in 2017, Donald Trump berated allies for failing to spend enough on defence. European allies, in particular Spain, are braced for further demands at the next summit due to be held in The Hague in June. Henry Ridgwell, VOA News.